The Rise and Shine podcast series is made possible by the generous support of Bonnie Vozar of Chicago, Illinois.
Simchat Torah asks us to celebrate the gift of Torah. How much easier is it to operate a vehicle, an appliance, a human life with a perfect owner's manual? And that is what your Torah is.
This is Rise and Shine, a podcast that offers timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations to fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note. Here is Adrienne Gold Davis.
I read obsessively. I have since childhood. There's something about being inside a book. It soothes me. It transports me. In my early teen years, when the first throes of my obsessive-compulsive disorder hijacked my brain, reading was the only thing that I could do that shut off my obsessive thoughts and compulsions. And I'd read a book like I eat a delicious meal. I race through it. I fill myself up with the delicious pleasure. And then I start slowing down about midway as I realize it's almost half over. And then I savor the final few chapters, forcing myself not to race through them. I want to know how it ends, but I already miss it before it's gone. And while many people can reread books, some of my friends actually finish and start them right over again, I can't do that personally. Just like we say that you can't step into the same river twice, I feel like that about novels. And yet, year in and year out, I read the Torah portion of the week over and over and over, and every year something is revealed to me that I had somehow missed the year before. Torah reading is like being on an upward spiral. Every year you return to the same chapter and absolutely nothing has changed except you. You have changed. And so what jumps out and what intrigues and what informs and what inspires is calibrated for exactly the place that you are at. The holiday of Simchat Torah begins the cycle of restarting the Torah from the beginning. There's no pause. We finish the final lines, then we move back to the start. And around the world, every Jew in every country in every language is reading it again as if for the very first time. This is a cause for celebration. There's an idea that God, as it were, looked into the Torah and created the world. The Torah, which means instructions for living, was in place before creation itself, as though God is the architect of humanity, and the Torah is the ultimate perfect set of blueprints for building it. Now, my husband is a contractor, so I know a bit about what it takes to build something. I also know that renovating is much more complicated than building from scratch. It is always easier to change a wall or a window placement in the blueprint stage than it is once the structure is built. But we also learn in Jewish thought, this is found in the Talmud, that God created teshuvah, repentance, before creating the physical world. So embedded within the Jewish ideal of teshuvah, of return, is the understanding, perhaps even the promise, that with appropriate action, forgiveness is possible. So even when we've built the structure of our character, even if our pasts feel like brick and mortar and would need a bulldozer to renovate or restore, this is not just possible. It's even mandated from above. There is no one among us who has not built a life on foundations that from time to time seem to be sinking into the ground. There's no one among us who has not built a life that we thought was permanent and immutable, only to find out, to quote T.S. Eliot, that was not what we meant at all. No, that was not it at all. Simchat Torah comes to remind us that we can and do come back to the beginning and can tap into that Genesis energy. We can look carefully at the structures we've built and decide to renovate all over again. Each week, The Torah portion gives us the materials, the tools, and the insights to become architects of our own personal habitats and give our lives a glow up from the inside out. You know, one of the other quirks of my personality is that I seem to do better in hindsight. My vision is 20/20 when I look backwards, but in the moment, I can be reckless and less than measured. And I know that wherever I am, whatever I have done, there is a set of instructions I can study my entire life long to help me get back on track. You know, we Jews are often called the people of the book. Consider this story of the great Rabbi Akiva. This parable is precisely what I'm trying to explain about Torah being the life force of the Jew. Okay, here it goes. Once, the wicked government decreed that the Jewish people were forbidden to study Torah. Papas ben Judah saw Rabbi Akiva convening a gathering in public and studying Torah with them. Said he to him, "Akiva, are you not afraid of the government?" Said Rabbi Akiva to him, "I'll give you a parable. A fox was walking alongside a river and saw fish running to and fro. Said he to them, 'What are you fleeing?' Said they to him, 'The nets that the humans spread for us.' Said he to them, 'Why don't you come out onto the dry land? We'll live together as my ancestors lived with your ancestors.' Said they to him, 'Are you the one of whom it is said you're the wisest of animals? You're not wise, but foolish. If, in our environment of life, we have cause for fear, how much more so in the environment of our death?' The same applies to us. If now, when we sit and study the Torah of which it is said, 'For it is your life and the lengthening of your days,' such is our situation, how much more so if we neglect it. It's a beautiful parable. And the Zohar, which is the basis of Kabbalah and Kabbalistic thought, puts it like this: the Jews and the Torah are one. So no wonder we Jews dance with the Torah and Simchat Torah. It's our perfect environmental ecosystem. You know, I often say that the land of Israel serves a similar purpose. The Talmud says this. Rabbi Zera said, "I see from this that the air of the land of Israel makes one wise." It just fast-tracks understanding and our ability to learn. For those of us who live outside the land of Israel, Simchat Torah asks us to celebrate the gift of Torah. How much easier is it to operate a vehicle, an appliance, a human life with a perfect owner's manual? And that is what your Torah is. This week, can you consider finding a class in person or online, in your community or virtually, so you might follow along with the rest of us? Because there is little better than literally being on the same page as those around you. And we Jews can do that, both literally and figuratively.
Thanks for listening to Rise and Shine. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to Momentum Podcasts on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Join Adrian again next time for more timeless wisdom and uplifting meditations that fill your heart, feed your soul, and start your day on a positive note.
This podcast was made possible by the generous support of Bani Vozar of Chicago, Illinois. Spread the wisdom. Inspire Jewish individuals around the globe by supporting Momentum's podcasts. To sponsor, contact podcast@momentumunlimited.org. You're listening to a Momentum podcast. For unlimited inspiration, wisdom, and empowerment, visit momentumunlimited.org.